Back in video, bitches.
Finally.
Finally, it's been weeks. I've been on the road traveling and doing other shenanigans and popping in on my phone or in my car. And today I'm finally here in a half-ass baked studio because I have not touched this place in like 2 weeks. My computer hit me with an automatic update. And I was like, Dave, 180 seconds. That's all I need. And I am back in video, everybody. And that is the opening and the theme of today, because today's going to be a call-in show. We'll have people come in and lollygag. And I think the question is how much heat do we want to put in tonight, Dave? Because I called you yesterday mid watch along, and you weren't really, you were kind of like deflated in a sense, and I'm like, hey, that's a typical Saturday morning, Sunday afternoon for Dave, guys. But we'll talk about it. We'll also listen to what you guys have your thoughts. The question is, does Monta deserve the sack? And I don't mean the sexual sack, unfortunately. So I hate to break hearts here.
Somebody's getting a sack.
And
we have video evidence
of sacks,
of a whole bunch of sacking that's about to ensue.
Is it juicy sacking, or
did you not see in the Discord?
No, like I said, I gotta.
Well, I mean, you'll live reaction then.
Shit. Okay, we're gonna have some fun. Obviously, it is the back in video stream. So obviously, if you do like the back in video, make sure you like. If you're new, subscribe. I know there's a bunch of new folk, and there is, as Davide would say, there is a barbecue going.
Is there actually?
I don't know. Maybe it's us. We're the Sunday afternoon.
Or is
there?
We talking about cooking? We're talking about cooking. It is actually. It's only it warmed up to -3 today. Man, that's balmy. Beautiful, beautiful day. The only problem with the weather getting nice is that all of a sudden everyone shows up and you're just walking the dogs and everyone wants to stop and talk to you. And it's like where were you the whole month when it was -20? Just like away in your homes, just afraid. I'm there every day walking my dog. All of a sudden, oh, hey, how's it going, man? It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. You're inside, man. No. Damn, it's just people. People bother me sometimes, just trying to mind my own business. And that's probably because I use walking my dogs as a stress relief after watching that shit show of a game. I just wanted to be left alone. But no, the weather was so damn nice that the whole neighborhood was out. I had to be social. Couldn't just, put my head in the sand and run away from my problems. So, I mean, therapy session.
Is this? I don't think it's a therapy session. I think
I need one. I'm here for one.
I'm here to laugh. I'm here to tell jokes.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm here to go off the wall because I have to travel again starting in 2 days. So I have like 2 days where I can sit here and just lollygag and bullshit until it's, that, and I come back Wednesday night. So
I mean, this is what I mean by therapy session. This is my therapy.
Trauma bonding. What are we, toxic chicks? Sal, come on now. Trauma
Oh,
bonding. It's the funnest. He told me he loved me and he love bombed me and then left me when I actually took him seriously. Yeah, welcome to 2025, everybody. My name's Dash. Speaking of love bombing and sacks, I saw it on Discord, and I'm going to share it with you guys, and you're going to have a live reaction because, Sal, you cheeky bastard, you've made me smile even harder today. So, for those of you questioning that Dusan Vlahovic did miss the Torino derby because certain muscular fatigue, and we got the scoop. There was some muscular fatigue. The kind of muscular fatigue that we want to talk about, I'm not too sure, but it is rated X, and I've already dropped a couple F-bombs, so fuck it. Live from
one of those shows,
the Napoli fan page in Belgium, which is interesting how they got their
It is actually pretty interesting. I did appreciate the source.
So, live look here. There is a camera surveillance here, and there he is, a deucey boy with 3 chicks actually.
Wearing his hat backwards as well, which is just like a universal sign of being a douchebag.
Well, at least Dusan is open to diversity, so I have to give Dusan credit for that.
Well, because there's another dude, or because there's like different colored ladies.
Yes, he is a man of culture. So again, if anyone's ever wondering why Dusan is having some muscular fatigue, there is your answer. He does not score on the pitch in open play, but he does score off the pitch in open play. So again, speculation here, folks. But if you're noticing a trend of pubalgia and muscle fatigue, uh, he's hitting different things.
The difference between football and life, unfortunately, is because he makes $12 million a year. It's nothing for him to make a couple phone calls.
I know. I mean, I know in the caption it says it's from 2023, but like, come on, he's been doing it then. What makes him stop now?
Oh yeah, he's not doing it now. Come on, it's
come
just
come on.
And if we go back to 2023, was it not very much the same? His lower back issue, I think it was at this time last year. I mean, what are we talking about? It's Shea Medical.
Jerry of 51. Shout out to Berto.
Jerry of 51. This is like things go in and things never come out.
It's it's like I've said, I've had this constant theme. There's just like every week as I go on, there's always something new about Dusan that I just can't help but laugh. Like I've said this. I want to like the guy, but some of the stuff is just so dumb. This one's funny. I'm not gonna lie. I like this one. This one's hilarious. We got to open up with a joke. Like, come on, people. The team sucks right now. We got to laugh about something. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of an individual, but it is what it is. We're a comedy show. It's kind of what we do. It is what it is there. But I wonder if he missed the
when you put up 5 goals, it's hard to miss them. He even had one. He even had an opposite. He even put up an obstacle. He even had an own goal there.
That's funny. That's diabolical, nerd. Oh man.
I hope who shared the video and comment Dusan in this video is fired. Yeah, I mean, whoever leaked that, that is a pretty shitty employee. Like, because that's a hotel employee, and he probably doesn't get paid a whole lot of money.
Look, when you get to that status, right? When you're at that level, no, there's no problem. I don't think there was a problem. We're just laughing because it's funny. But like when you get, it's one of those things where you kind of have to be self-aware, right? Where it's like, if you reach a certain status where there is eyeballs, there's things on you, you really need to watch what you do in certain areas or certain public eye, right? Because like, for example, we joke about it, but at the end of the day, it's like, dude, you gotta be careful with what you do, because like you piss off the wrong person, they're gonna throw that clip off. Like it's kind of what it is, right? But at the end of the day, it's what he does in his personal life. It is what it is. But we're a comedy show and comedy material, and we make fun of it. So it is what it is.
I mean, go and just past making fun of things and being a little bit serious for a while. I mean, I don't care what a person does on their own time. Doesn't really matter, unless it does affect what your profession is. And there is perhaps a link there with his nonchalant approach to life. And you see this, like Neymar's a perfect example. Parties too much. Could have been the greatest thing ever. Plays in Saudi Arabia. That's going to be Dusan if he continues with this trajectory as well. So all I ask is, have fun, but when it's time to be professional, you have to be professional. And I have not always seen that from Dusan. So in like jokes aside, yeah, that's kind of where I have an issue still with this kind of behavior. I may be, stretching, like maybe get my imagination ahead of me, perhaps, but still, just stay professional. This shit stays in the sheets. On the pitch, I want to see 100% performance, no bullshit.
Irony. It is what it is. Like I really don't care. But moving on to more pressing matters after we've warmed your jimmies up a little bit, folks. Let's talk about currently where we're at the season. I know we did the mid-season report card with the folks, and we kind of bitched about it on Thursday a little bit for an hour. So interesting stat line, Mr. Dave. No, I almost burped there. Juventus under Thiago Dramotta have collected 33 points in 19 games, their worst midseason total since Del Nieri's 2010-2011 campaign.
We're comparing him to Del Nieri now. This is where we're at. I mean, even with me not being necessarily a Mata fan, hardcore coming into this thing, I never expected to be comparing this man to Del Nieri at this point in the season.
I can't believe we're at that point. I legitimately can't believe we're at that point. He does.
It's got to get. It has to get better.
Reserve comment. I reserve comment.
Yeah, LJJ is saying even out the field, he needs to grow up and he's smarter not to be a catch. So yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying, LJJ. Just have your fun, but no one to tighten her up.
Simple talk. Move on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's where we're at. Let's go back to the game a little bit. I don't want to dwell on the game too much.
No, yeah. I kind of want to look over some of the results because where is it? There was something I wanted to talk about.
Don't say Pirlo.
Please don't say Pirlo.
No.
So like for example, Milan are very like they're scaring me because I think they're starting to get I thought God would reward me for watching Allegri ball. That's what happens when you say his name. It's a thing. You say his name in vain, and he completely comes after you. That's what happens. Allegri, you don't touch that. You just let it go.
There's 7 layers to hell,
and Allegri was 8 of them.
So, yeah, you're in the depths. You're in the depths of it right now.
Yeah, very
Dante's
much so.
Inferno.
I would say Massimiliano's Inferno. So we'll talk about the Milan game yesterday, right? So that Milan team is turned a corner from what I saw. Yes, it was a 1-1 tie.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest.
24 shots with an expected goals of 2.75 from Conceição ball.
They picked it up in the second again because he just loses his shit. I'm assuming Sergio just like throws trash cans and
smashed a TV in the Sun Zero.
So
we got lucky that it ended in a draw because I think that Milan team, they are this close away from popping off. And that's what I find a little bit concerning is how well that Milan side is going to eventually start moving against us. And when I look at, like, for example, some of the other matches today, so like, for example, Inter beating Venezia 1-0, they grinded through that one. They still created a decent amount of chances, but again, they put it in.
They won the shitty games.
They win the ugly games. We draw the ugly games. And then Roma still hasn't found their footing yet. And then I'm looking at the table. And then, so we're at 19 matches played. Fiorentina still have yet to play, and they're at 32. So Fiorentina win, or if they win, they go up ahead of us. Bologna, surprisingly, is hanging around. And I think Milan, it's only a matter of time before this Milan side starts streaking. And once this Milan side starts streaking, then I'm going to get a little bit concerned, because then you're hoping that because, like, for example, if Milan essentially goes in as a contender for 4th place, then it's you versus Milan, Lazio. Oh boy.
Here is my concern, especially, is that we talked a couple weeks ago. I was like, okay, we just need to get on a streak, win a couple games, have this positivity. It was supposed to start this week. It didn't happen. We're not getting that momentum. So how long? Do we go this whole season without any momentum? Because, yeah, if that's the case, Milan, it does look like they're going to start to pick it up. And they could have at any point. Like, the Milan team, like, it's a good team on paper.
A very good team on paper.
Yeah, at any point they could have popped off. Now Conceição's there. Might happen.
He's lighting their ass on fire. I'm telling you, like, that Milan side is going to concern me a little bit, because it's going to probably be between us and them for that 4th seat, for the 4th spot.
Mm-hmm. And we don't know if we're getting the 5th spot for Champions League.
No,
let's hope we do. And that means if we do, we have to hope that teams like Roma do well and Inter and Milan do well. Like, everyone we hate, we have to hope that they do well in their European championships, And it's going to be one of those years where we might have to cheer for those assholes because we're shitting the bed so hard and maybe we're going for top 5.
Yeah.
Hope and a prayer.
Could you imagine that being the final result this season is top 5? Like, could you imagine
Bologna last year? There you go.
No, it's just like, think about it though, from like a managerial standpoint, from the amount of money that you spent and the investment that you did, and you finished 5th.
Yeah, that's Bologna.
Like that is absolutely.
you got what you paid for. You got what you got.
All right, let's catch up on this chat here. So we got Carr saying Danieri was a G, tried his best when we were really rock bottom. Put some respect with a K on his name. Yeah, I can agree with that because the team was absolutely dog shit at that time, and this team is actually good on paper, but not managed properly. Cheer for assholes. Yes. I'm hoping Juve loses so these players get this unbeaten nonsense out of their head. I think Motta has the unbeaten nonsense in his head.
Yeah. I got some quotes from Motta. So let's just blow past this yesterday crap and let's start rolling forward. So this is what Motta said after the game. I didn't see anything in particular to the team. I just said to go for. Sorry, I misspoke. I didn't say anything in particular to the team. I just said to go forward.
You sure that? Just sure. Do you have?
No, it's in my notes. This is just crap tweets that I pull up.
Oh.
I mean, this is sometimes how I get it. So whatever, deal with me. Now I got to start from the top. I didn't say anything in particular to the team. I just said to go forward to prevent the opponents from taking the field. We weren't good at finishing off our shots. 12 draws, a few too many draws, given that at times we were ahead. What is he saying?
I don't know. Does it matter?
He continues. We did very well at the beginning, and that's why we took the lead. Good for you. After the 1-0, we dropped back and conceded a goal again. We could have been more aggressive again in that circumstance. In the second half, we came back well. No, you didn't. We dominated and had chances, but without scoring. No, you didn't. Am I missing something?
Where's he getting those?
I don't know. Where I like that. That was from Nicolo Shira, anyways. That posted that, but what does that even mean?
I don't know. Well, and the other question is like, so no, Cambiasso had the flu because I was like surprised that Cambiasso came off the bench, but no, I forgot about that.
Yeah, only 2 people came off the bench. Again, like, what? Fuck me. I'm gonna punch it one of these days. Just substitute.
So can I ask a question for the chat, and then like we can open the link, and I want to see if people want to come in and answer this question. So one of the things is like one of the arguments that I'm hearing is like, for example, Juve need to buy Italian players again. This team has no identity. All the experienced players left, and some foreign mercenaries don't understand the stature of the club. And it's like, is that really
the Italian talent isn't good, not at that level.
Like that's what I'm like curious. Like, is that really like the remedy for this issue?
I don't know, because let's look at it. Who's top Italian talent? You can say Barella, Inter. Bastoni for defense, Inter.
Buongiorno, Napoli.
Flatezzi might be on his way out, but Inter. We have Locatelli, okay.
Got T question mark?
Yeah, ish.
De Gregorio?
Scalvini, yeah, he's back. Atalanta there. It's just there's but you know, like you see how we're not just making a list of Italian players that are like, okay, yeah, they can come into Juve and be a top player and do the job, because there's not that many, and like you're not getting Barella, that's for damn sure.
Oh, he's not gonna come here.
You know, so which Italians? Now, I will retract a little bit. If we just go old school, just throw some blue collar dudes at it, and be okay with maybe finishing 5th or 6th, but like spending like low wages. I'm talking about just blue collar, like Gattis, just bricklayers. Okay, maybe I'm here for it because we're going like a budget approach, like some Moneyball type stuff. But if we're gonna spend 150 million, no.
More.
Like,
We spent more than that. We're gonna probably
more,
spend
whatever,
more.
200, whatever it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
Like, if we're gonna spend the money, then I don't really give a damn where they come from in particular. But their head does have to be in the game. I agree. Like they have to.
Freemason. Goddamn, sorry that comment.
But,
oh, I love this. This chat is toxic, and I am all for it. Oh, I've rubbed off on these people.
the Illuminati.
Freemason.
You threw me off. I'm done. You fucking threw me off.
I'm sorry. Well, no, it's just like because
no,
I look at I look at that question, like I look at that, or not even a question. I look at the statement. It's like we need to stop doing mercenaries. Like, bro, come on. Every good team now has foreign mercenaries. Practically everything's freaking imported.
Well, let's go back to Inter. Their best player is probably Turkish. Our best player is probably Turkish. You know. And Yildiz, I'm sorry, Yildiz is the only person that fucking did anything yesterday.
Liverpool's best player is Egyptian,
not the Italian one.
He scored. Hey, put some respect on his name. FA Cup, bro.
He scored against a third division team. Who gives a fuck?
But like, no, it's just like I look at it and it's just like we've gone beyond. Like the game is so globalized at this point where it's like, you know, you can make that argument in the 90s, early 2000s where it's just like the clubs that built, like if you're a national team player, like you can have like non-mercenaries like Italians and yada yada yada. Like you can make that argument. Where it's like now it's like you look at the top teams in Europe, dude, everybody's imported. Like player wise.
Well, Madrid. I mean,
Man City. Liverpool.
Yeah, they're just, and even if they say they're from like France or England, they're not. They're from West Africa somewhere, you know, like they got multiple passports.
Yeah, it's the globalization. The game is globalized, right? So it's just like I look at that and it's just like I look at that argument. It's like you need talent. No, dude, you need to get the best you can at this point.
You just need to straighten these boys the fuck up. I mean, you need the leadership. I've been yelling about this, the damn leadership. You just need a leader. Coop Miners, he wears the armband. He had the worst goddamn game of the season. That's not a captain. I still don't know who our captain is. It changes every weekend.
There's no experience. There's no leadership on that roster.
That's why, like, get a guy like Fulkrug. You need a striker who's cheap. Get Fulkrug. He's old. He's German. He's gonna yell at some dudes. Ricci, yeah, I mean he's young, but Ricci's pretty decent. He's an up and comer.
Yeah, I told you, Chiesa scored for Liverpool yesterday. We got to put respect on his name.
Tonali, yeah. I mean, Tonali's. You're paying the Premier League or that tax. You're paying the tax. You can't just bring Tonali back. You're paying minimum 50 plus.
I think it's. He's that to me is a fantasy. It's a pipe dream at this point. With the amount of money you spend on your midfield, there is no way in hell you can make. Unless
if you didn't buy Douglas Luiz, maybe.
Unless you're able to somehow convince Newcastle to like swap Tonali for Douglas Luiz, that is the only way a move like that happens.
Yeah.
It's just
and then I'll be here for it, sure. And yeah, now that he is back playing, he is a talent.
Yeah. All you have to do is look at our World Cup history in Euro 2024 and know that there's no world-class Italians. Fair enough. Unnecessary pressure to the Koopmeister. Yeah, I think so. Chiesa scored against a third, fourth team. Any possibility we get that Barcelona defender? I don't know, man. I mean, I really don't know.
Hot. It's hot not in the news, but we're actually, unless something has happened while we're speaking, we did potentially make a signing here. There's a couple deals on the table. It's not the ones that we expected.
I don't believe until it's done, man. Like I don't believe any of the deals until they're done. That Barcelona defender, Barcelona would be stupid to let him go for cheap.
Okay, no, this one is done. Torrekia returns to Juve from Catanzaro. He's going to play for the next gen.
Fantastic.
I told you it's not what you're expecting, but
fantastic.
That's a
fantastic
deal.
move. Fantastic.
Kamenechi has almost gone to Sturm Graz for $2 million plus bonus.
Yeah, you got dreamers saying Tonali cost. No, we're not saying he's coming. I said the only way that move happens is if you move Douglas Luiz. Like you'd have to somehow convince Douglas Luiz and some cash for that, and if he plays top form. Like it's not a practical move. Like Tonali coming is never going to happen. Like for sure.
Nope.
Jeff wants to cook.
But yeah, we got 4 minutes. We have 3 minutes. We have until the half-hour mark. We got to waffle a little bit. All right. Let me waffle here quickly. Get through the news. As Raffle's saying here, Vitoria Guimarães player, yes, Alberto Costa from Vitoria Guimarães, attacking right back, $12 million, 4,500,000 per year salary. That looks like it's on the brink and coming out of nowhere. So, young right back, attacking does sound kind of Mata-ish.
To be honest with you, I kind of don't want to invest any more money on players that Mata wants.
Unpopular
opinion. Unpopular opinion.
No, I know.
I don't because like, how do we know?
That's why I mentioned it though.
Like, how do I know we're gonna keep this guy at the end of the year? Like seriously, like I don't mean to be an ass when I say this. Like, how do I know we're gonna keep this guy?
The fact that Gentoli and Mata sent away Rugani, Keane, and Huijsen warrants in immediate firing. Bloody idiots. Mata came in thinking he was Pep. I hate his guts. Wow, that's all right. Going in hard.
How much is Mata getting paid? Barely anything.
Was it 3 million?
3 to 4, okay. I think 3 or 4, something like that.
We need to talk about how he got another red card. 2.5 mil.
2.5 mil? Yeah, if he plays like shit, if he doesn't change it, he's gone. That's a tax write-off at this point with that amount.
That was 2012. Oh, that was when he was playing. Damn it! Don't just pick out the first thing you see.
God damn it, Dave.
Oh. Okay. One football article.
If Mota's one and done,
3.5.
If current trend continues, yeah.
Okay, so Motta will sign a 3-year deal worth $5 million per season.
$5 million per season?
Yeah, and another source said 3.5, so it might be 3.5 plus bonus.
That's probably.
I don't think he's getting the bonus.
No. No, I mean, if you finish this for top 4, I think that's what it is.
Probably. Yeah. So 3.5 to 5. This is why you need a skilled, strong director of football to ensure long-term strategic visions for the club. I love that. That's such a power phrase there. Long-term strategic vision. Yeah, that's what your top-tier executives are supposed to do. They don't really care about the everyday running.
Hold on. I kind of want to talk about this before we open up the lines.
But this
how much of it is on Gentoli versus how much of it is on Thiago Motta for not, like, for example, Motta and him are like, hey, these are the players I want to play this specific type of ball. Gentoli says, okay, I will get you what I can with the amount of resources that I have. And he does, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the players aren't producing. So how much of that, and again, I'm not taking a huge nuanced stance on this, but it's just like, I kind of want to ask this question where it's like, how much of it is on Motta?
Well, technically all of it, because he's in charge of the sporting side and he's the boss, so it all lays on him at the end of the day.
That's where I'm throwing the question. But then you can do the Uno reverse card and say, well, he hired him.
Well, yeah, that's it. He did hire him. It's not like Max where, okay, he just had to manage the rest of his contract and find a way to shorten it, which he did. But he specifically brought him in and specifically gave him a budget to get specific players that he wanted. So how much is it Gentoli's fault? 100%, because he's the boss. Yeah. And he allowed it to happen. He made the decision. He was the catalyst by getting Motta and agreeing to those terms. And as a result, we are here today.
What do you guys think about Bangula? I think he's better than Samuel Illing Jr.
Yes.
That's my opinion.
Yes. I like him. I like his defensive phase as well. I like his physicality. And he's improving. So I like everything.
More Motta than Gentoli. Zwart. That's my new nickname for this guy. Zwarta. It's more on Motta. If you get Coop, who is the best mid for 2-3 years, and then Dougie, same in the Premier League. But with Motta, they're not playing or performing.
It is in the sense that, yeah, Motta is more at fault because he's more hands-on with how the team's performing. And that's what going back to the strategic vision, Gentoli is supposed to think more strategically and long term and not about the everyday dealings. That's why he does have a lower level manager in Mata. So yes, in the terms of physically hands on, whose fault it is, it's Mata.
I kind of want
But
to.
because Gentoli is the boss, it's his fault.
I kind of want to dissect this comment a little bit. So the team was built badly, not replacing Chiesa and having a plan to get a center back quickly when you've had since October to conjure up a plan. Center back, that's a different story. What are we effectively replacing Chiesa for? I think you did that with Conceição.
And Nico Gonzalez.
I'm not trying to be an ass here, but like for example, what did we need to replace from Chiesa's production?
Yeah,
Because
no,
I thought we effectively replaced.
yeah, especially Chico was like a 1-for-1 replacement.
Because that's where I have the question where it's like I'm sorry, but I think like with the trend and the way that he plays, I think Conceição has a better trajectory than Chiesa currently has right now.
I like him. Yeah, he's a direct and better replacement than Chiesa.
Because he knows how to invert, he knows how to cut in, he can take shots from distance, he can cook people on a one-on-one easily, and it's more so because of size and space. He's able to assist quite well. I mean, from like the sample size that we've gotten, it's just kind of like Mota. Yeah, I say Mota.
It's me. I say it I say it like a Canadian, and people don't like it. And I have an accent, and I say it like that.
Mota. Yeah, I've always been saying Mota. I call him Droll.
I say Mata. I say Mata. I say Mata.
Well, guys, he's Canadian. Why do you guys have to make fun of his accent, man? Like,
It's
geez, 2025.
It bothers some people. And you know what? Whatever. Fuck you. I'm sure there's words that you can't pronounce that I can be an asshole about too. All right. Is it Bangula or Chiesa a replacement?
No.
No. I think it's Marchico.
So let me ask this again. A left winger. Okay, but how many times are people arguing with me and telling me that Chiesa was a right winger? Now he's a left winger. Now like that's one of the things where what does he even do? Like that's where I was like, and this is where I kind of want to throw the argument, right? Once he popped off on the right side, and then everyone's like, hey, he's on the left side. Now he's on this side. Now he's on that side. Now he's on this side. Now he's on that side. And it's just like I'm like, like I don't know.
Are you seriously gonna be pedantic about it? No, you sound like an American. Guess what? Canada is in America. It's called
Toronto,
North
Dave.
America.
He's from Toronto.
The US is from the United States of America. We're all fucking American.
Dave. There's your
Yeah, I'm from Toronto too, and that's how they talk. That's part of a Toronto fucking accent. Is they I don't know how to explain it. That's how they do it. And they overpronounce the T's too. Like they say mittens. I make fun of my sister all the time because she says mittens. No, I'll just say mittens.
This is enjoyable. I love it. So Conceição isn't as talented, but he needs to be more. Or he is. Is it? Wait, he isn't. Is it? Isn't? Or I misread that. But he needs to be more effective. Can I ask how? That would be my pushback. Is how? All right, Conceição, the only thing he's missing is an attacking fullback to make his game stronger because he's too predictable, kind of like Chiesa. Oh, he's saying he is talented, but he needs to be more effective. But again, the argument I have again is like, for example, Allegri's system was catered towards Chiesa and Dusan, and Chiesa still wasn't producing.
Okay, do it. Listen, hold on. No, this guy's starting to be an asshole here. Listen, this is because this is the show. This is the Sunday night where we waffle on and we go on about stuff. And you're gonna be here. You wanna start swinging dicks and compare grammar? Who gives a fuck? We're just here trying to have a good time. And if you don't like how I speak, I mean that's fine. There's people that don't like how I speak. I understand. I have an accent. I have a heavy accent because I've lived all over this country. I live with a goddamn Newfoundlander. That's the most messed up accent in the whole goddamn country. I work with a bunch of Frenchmen. I pick up all these messed up accents, and sometimes I say things stupid. Yeah, okay, I'm actually a second generation Monja Cake, and I have more than 7 fucking viewers. Thank you very much. So if you want to come here and start swinging your dick, swing a little bit harder, buddy. I don't give a fuck. All right, let's move on. Yeah, I told you. Okay, you clearly don't like me. You act like a fucking Torontonian. All right, let's go on.
All right. Go on, oration. That's so funny.
The reason why, and here's the thing, the reason why I don't have a shit ton of subscribers is because I don't mind telling people to go fuck themselves. We're here to have a good time. We're not here to like grammar correct and shit. Once in a while we make fun of each other, and that happens. But don't say, oh, seriously, you know, this is how I talk. I'm sorry. I know I'm not perfect. And yes, I am a goddamn manja cake, so why would you expect any better from me? There's your expectations. Maybe you're expecting too much.
All right.
I moved to Florida, don't worry. Okay. I mean, there you go. Jeff. Where's Jeff? We have a real Floridian. Jeff, get in here.
I was gonna say we're gonna get Jeff in here. And the car's like, so Dash, how you doing? I'm doing fantastic. I'm having fun here. Oh my goodness. All right. That is the shape of Juventus right now is because now we're going over accents.
And that's the thing, this isn't a business plan. If you want a business plan, go to Bepe's channel. That's his business. I have a job. I do this for fun. I don't do this to get yelled at by a bunch of whiny little bitches about how I speak. If you don't like it, go find somebody that you like.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Jeff, how's it going, bud?
I'm pretty fucking good. Saturday fucking sucked.
Yeah.
But at least, hey, Sunday I got to watch Madrid get spanked, which was fucking amazing. I don't care. But the bad news might be that I think one of the starting center backs for Barcelona got injured. So now Araujo is going to probably start, which means our chances of getting him
are gone.
Pretty fucking shit.
Gone.
Donzo.
Not even shit. Gone. It's just gone.
Poof. So he's gonna get some starting time. I like that guy in the chat. He's kind of I like the grammar Gestapo in him. I like it a lot. But yeah, what do I think about the fucking game? I don't know what else.
He just says, "What do I think about
what do I think about the game?" It doesn't matter about the player. We need somebody to like push these little shits to push them up and get everybody accountable. Like we need somebody with like charisma. That's it. Like we need somebody that is gonna yell at these players. Like they need to wake the fuck up. That's it. Like we're one goal and then we're one goal ahead. And then what happens is like then we just start playing defensive minded game and we can't even defend properly. So why the hell do that? Do what Barca did and just go on a full scale attack. Even if you're missing, fuck it. You're not, and try to score 2 goals or 3 goals. And then, if you get scored on 2 goals, okay, we at least get the 3 points, but at least have an identity. We have no identity, first of all. That's our problem. We have no identity. We don't know what we want to do. We want to defend or attack. Like, make up your mind.
That's it.
I mean, I got a lot.
I thought we were gonna go more. I'm like sitting here. I'm just kind of like, all right.
Fucking. What else? Okay, no. What else? What else you want me to say? Yeah, like we need to stop putting Cope Miners as a fucking 10. Like it's not gonna work. He clearly likes to play deeper in the midfield. Change the formation. Let's ditch the 10. At this point, I'm fine with ditching the 10. Let's have Douglas Luiz play the regista and then play the 2 Kefren Turam and Coop Miners as an 8 as a Manzala. And if Dusan is going to play, use Nico as a false 9 and then utilize the wings. The wings are fine. I think the wings are great. The fullbacks have been decent. I have nothing against the fullbacks. Or center backs are crap. If I have to compare Gatti is like if I have to compare Gatti reminds me of Rudiger. Literally, he's Rudiger. He's the Italian Rudiger, except he's not playing on the world-class stage. That's it. It's like when he cooks, he fucking cooks. He does well. I got nothing against it. But when he doesn't, it's like he makes boneheaded mistakes. Same shit, liability. I like him, but he needs a better center back partner, and Kalulu ain't cutting it. That's it, bottom line. I think he can play as a fullback, Kalulu.
Is it because he's short?
It's because he can't win a fucking aerial duel.
So he's short.
For fuck's sakes. Come on. I think he can't jump. Come on. At least like have some NBA hops, just
bro, that's kind of fucked up.
Sal's dropping in here. You got some trash talk for Woodbridge, I hear, eh?
obviously I don't want to typecast myself, but all my family in that area is from Woodbridge, from Toronto, like the Toronto.
Yeah, I mean the worst kind of Italians all live in Woodbridge.
Pretty much. But honestly, I just wanted to pop in real quick and ask Jeff if he's ready to apologize for all that Douglas Luiz slander.
Yeah, I don't. You know what?
He shows up without the camera.
I like
he's
it.
Like,
no.
He's like, hey everybody, what's going on? I haven't talked to you in a while. By the way, Jeff, you can go fucking suck a cock.
Yeah, I'm not even. You know what?
I had a beanie on for sale because he was gonna drop bars.
I like it. Go ahead. Yeah, no. Listen. If he continues to prove me wrong like this, I'm all for it, man. I don't give a fuck.
It's the
just
platinum
do
hair
it.
dye.
That's it. I don't care. I'm
I
glad.
mean,
Listen, if Luis plays like this,
need him to stay healthy. The only thing I was bummed about was that he didn't put Coop back in the pivot and move Luis up. I hope he really considers that against Atalanta, because I don't know how many more times I can see Coop just doing the dropping stinker after stinker like that, especially when we're playing more than once a week.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I agree. It's have Luis, Coop, Thuram. I know that Locatelli's been having a breakthrough season. Like he's been pretty well, like pretty decent, despite of that Milan gaff. He has been pretty solid. But the thing is, I think that he plays well on a double pivot. I think that's really what it comes down to. The issue is that the other players aren't activated in a way, like they're not playing at their full potential. And I think that it comes down to it playing in that 4-3-3 formation and just going on a full scale attack. I think it's much better than to be unsure and just score a goal and then be like, oh yeah, we're going to drop back when we can't even properly defend. Like it's just bullshit. These guys want to attack, fine. Just pull off the gloves, go bare knuckle boxing. I don't give a shit.
The thing that was frustrating for me is, Torino obviously didn't have the bulk of the possession, but if you watched their transition play, right, when they would hit us on a counter, I counted it a few times, but generally it took them about 4 to 5 passes to be right outside our box.
I said that during the watch along. Mm-hmm. Oh, Sal, ball. I love you, Sal.
I just don't understand. I'm like, how is it possible? And these aren't like floaters. These aren't like these are direct passes. Fairly straightforward. And then before you know it, they're right outside the area, and we all got our buttholes clenched. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Like, how is that possible? Something like just try to like don't get too cute, I suppose. Like, just a simplistic or what have you. But we're incapable of it either by design, because you're just like, no, we have to always just go out to the wings and do what we need to do, or you're not good enough. And I'm sorry, I don't believe that it's our lack of quality that's the reason why we keep drawing teams. I think it's more of a coaching thing. So I don't know what else to say, really.
Well, I mean, we've been saying the same thing for weeks. It's almost like, what else is there to say?
Together, Malta. That's it. If you got to yell at these fucking players, do it. If you got to be a dick, be a dick. No more of this, Do
you guys know each other, Sal?
Who's that?
This guy here, Germano.
Oh,
he feels like he knows you. Maybe you met at Woodbridge one time getting gelato.
Oh, quite possible. But yeah, no, it's just frustrating, dude. I mean, we're all frustrated. It's just I don't know if it's just I think it's just a mentality thing, I suppose, but like maybe a lack of instilling belief in the squad, a lack of like leadership, a lack of somebody who's just going to kick somebody in the ass or whatever. But everybody, the main knock on Allegri, and I had to bring him up. The main knock on Allegri was always he's not a tactician. He relies on individual brilliance. Well, what the fuck have we been seeing all season?
Only individual brilliance.
To be honest with you, I think Allegri's a brilliant tactician.
But at least
he had like a crap hand. Like I think
You know what I
The
mean?
thing is that the key to pragmatism is to look at the players you have and utilize them the best freaking way possible. If you can't have like a philosophy instilled onto you, then yeah. Here's the thing though, like even if you want to have a philosophy instilled, you have to pay money. First of all, like playing attacking football is expensive. I'm going to keep saying this day in and day out. It's expensive. We learned it in the Ronaldo era. We bought him, but then we had nobody else to distribute the ball properly to him. And clearly, honestly, even still then, he actually did fine. Cristiano did fine. I had nothing against of his performance. That just has to do with the team around. Like they just weren't, either properly defending. And we're also not a team that we're not really known for attack. We're known for a strong defense, a well-grouped around and counterattack, even with the Allegri 1.0 era. The thing is, we have to find the right identity, and we need somebody to lead, like a charismatic figure to keep these younger guys accountable.
Yeah, those guys are expensive too, though. You know what I mean?
No, they could be one of those guys on the back end of their career. Maybe get them on a free. It doesn't have to be like a very skilled player, a starter necessarily. Just a dude in the locker room, just a guy on the sidelines to rally the troops.
You mean Danilo?
Something better than Danilo. He was the best perhaps that we have, but
I will criticize Giuntoli. I don't think it's all Giuntoli's fault here. I won't say that it's all his fault. The one thing I will give him criticism, constructive criticism for that matter, is simply he's a bit reckless. I've noticed the players he doesn't want or he tries to sell, they tend to terminate the contract. And I noticed that even in Allegri's last year, where they did that with Bonucci, they did that with Tech, they're doing it with Danilo, and they're just if they don't want him on the team, they're not a part of the project.
They're doing it to Fajoli.
They state that in the public, and sometimes you don't need to do that. Just keep it hush, and just you want to sell them. If you can't, that's fine. Keep them, and try not to build any hostility towards the player, and just create any unnecessary drama either. Those are the things. It's just reckless to get rid of Danilo if you don't even have a perfect plan to replace him. I'm not saying I love the guy or that I think he's a good center back or he fits the system, but you still need a piece regardless.
So, just to kind of piggyback onto this, right? So Fajoli left out. They only make 2 substitutions. Yeah, Fajoli is perfectly healthy. Didn't participate in the cool down afterwards. Looking very disappointed. They're doing the same thing to Fajoli now.
Because he sucks.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter if he sucks or not. The thing is that if you're going to get rid of a player, just have a backup plan. And the problem is it's hard to do it when you don't know which team is going to want to get him, A, and B, you don't know if the guy you want to get, you even have the funds for it. So this is the situation we're in. So
does Germano want to come on so we can make fun of your accent, so we can pick apart how you talk?
Jesus Christ, we're still on this?
Well, yeah, he still continues on.
Both of you play nice. The day I come on video and everyone's like, hey, my dick's bigger than yours.
No, because he's saying some other stupid shit too in the chat. So,
oh, good Lord.
Smart the fuck up or fuck off.
Good Lord.
Jesus Christ, kid.
I'm trying to have some fun here, and we're measuring schlongs.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep this rated G.
When have you ever tried to do that? At what point have you done that?
Never. Exactly. This is the first time for everything, Dave.
You're the one. You started with F-bombs. You ruined it. You ruined it right from the get-go. So
I am
just fall in line.
Bleeping tired of bleeping bleep. I didn't bleep to bleep and ended up bleeping. Okay, can I bleep now?
No.
Okay. All right. back to business. What's interesting though, because for you want to know, Miretti's been cooking at Genoa ever since Vieira went over there and he's the coach. 3 goal contributions recently. And it's funny because it's for me, it's just I never understood, hey, why keep Fajoli, loan Miretti? You should have been the other way around. always should have been the other way around. But
I don't think that would have made much of a difference either. I think also the atmosphere, the environment as well. Like, I think it's fine loaning out Miretti. I don't think he could have handled the pressure. I'm not saying he's bad. I think he would have been fine. But the problem again is like, was he going to cook as well? I don't know. That's the thing. It's like, I think this is a multi-issue. I think he just needs to figure it out. Like, that's it, dude. Like, you got good players, you got decent players. You just have to change some things. And if you're too stubborn, then it's time for you to go. This is the difference when you're coaching a big club. You have to find solutions when there's problems. You can't
I think at least for me, the issue is now we're a bit over a half of a season in, and I still can't tell you for the life of me what Motaball is.
Nobody could.
I don't.
Even last
some
season.
Some people tell me, oh, it's high intensity. It's interchanging players. It's pressing when you're off the ball. I'm like, pressing when we're off the ball? Pressing where? Pressing who?
No. The middle of the field. We press the middle of the field like the grass on the field.
But how can we press a part of the field we never play in?
So, that is also true.
You know what I mean? So I'm still at it, and everybody's like, "Oh, tactician." I'm like, it's probably my lack of ball knowledge. I'm totally okay with saying that. I don't know. For me, it seems pretty straightforward how we play. If I was an opposing coach or I was an opposing player, I'm like, fairly easy to sort of see how we can scheme, Juventus, and it seems like most of these teams are, especially if you're looking at the results. But I don't even now, like who we're looking to bring in this new kid who I've never heard of before, and he's a fullback. So obviously we're not going away from a back four anytime.
No, I don't think so.
Right. So like the formation is the formation. However you want to say they interchange it, whether they're playing defense or whether they're transitioning or what have you. There's, like I said, to me, it seems like a lack of flexibility, and I just don't understand why we're not insisting on playing a bit more direct and a bit more up the middle, possibly because Koopmeiners can't, latch onto a ball to save his life, and the only players that you do trust and you feel all your skill players are out on the wings, which is sad.
Weird. It's weird. Right? No, to be honest with you, it's weird.
I'm watching and I'm just confused half the time. So I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you because I came in on the watch along for the last 10 minutes and I was literally just sitting there and I'm like, and I like made the comment. I'm like, how the hell does Torino with 3 passes already get a chance on goal? Or we're doing 15 and we're like half-ass crossing it for it to get cleared away.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm sitting here and I'm like, if that is like, for example, to answer your question, what is Thiago Motaball? It's literally 20 passes, cross, counterattack, they scored. That's what I've seen.
I think to play that kind of style too, you need to have a high intensity. You need to play with a high intensity because the moment you lose the ball, you have to go as fast as possible to regain the ball. And the problem is also our players have always been used to playing Allegri ball, defensive style, so they need to adjust to some degree. And then the other one is after we score a goal, it's like we go from gear 5 and then we go to gear 1, and then we're just sleeping. We're just passing the ball around like as if we won 5-0, and that's idiotic.
The problem,
I just think you got to continuously go.
The problem is like I look at it, and it's when you don't have you need to have the ball playing striker. You need to have, like, for example, a physical ball playing midfielder that's able to thread it through for Coop. Because it's like, for example, you look at, like, for example, what Coop does at Atalanta. Coop is, and it's Jeff. You've made this argument hundreds of times, and I 100% agree with you. Like, you need to have an effective 5, and then you need Coop as an 8, and then you need someone else as an 8. So, like, for example, an inverted midfield where it's Koopmeijer and it's Thuram, and then Douglas Luiz is playing in the hole. That should be good as your trinity. The issue is who's facilitating the movement up top. Like, for example, for me, if it was like a Skamaka, or if it's like, for example, a physical striker that can hold the ball and just dish it out wide to your skill players, because right now you need to put your wingers in one-on-one isolation situations for this team to offensively be dangerous. To do that, you need to facilitate play off to your wingers. Problem is, you can't do that because Dusan can't do that. Dusan's not that kind of guy.
I think Nico would be a better option. I know it's a little bit wild for me to say him as
all you have.
I think Nico could do a better job than Dusan because I'm not saying necessarily that he's a potent goal scorer, but I feel like he makes better.
You just need someone to facilitate the ball.
Yeah, I feel like he makes better off movements. His work rate is better, and he can control the ball better. And to tell you the truth, when he's on one-on-one with the keeper, he can score.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did on that offside. He was just barely offside.
Barely, but I see stuff finish like that. And I would just rather put Nico start as a false nine. If not, if you're going to continue with Dusan, be my guest, but at least switch him. At least like that would be your rotating piece for the moment, unless we can find somebody at that point. It also depends on this January Mercado, whether we like it or not. And that's also a thing where what is Giuntoli cooking? Is he may be aiming too high if we have that bad of I would say if we have that bad of financial struggle, then maybe we need to make smarter, I would say more intelligent buys. Fulkrug, I wouldn't mind getting him. I'm not saying he's perfect, but I feel like he knows when to score at the right moment. Unfortunately, he's injured, so you have to look for somebody else.
Yeah. NFL folks, I kind of wanted it because Sal's here. Apparently, Mike Vrabel is going to be the new New England Patriots coach. That's a move that we've been calling for years now. So, Mike Vrabel, New England's Patriots head coach. I'm, sorry, folks. I am as my blanket entails. Finally,
you guys are good this year.
We're finally good. So, yeah.
And the Eagles are currently up 10-0 over Green Bay in the third quarter.
God damn it, Jordan Love sucks dick. What? Oh, just kidding. He just made an actual really good fucking throw.
Maybe, do you think that's where German Dave actually is? Maybe he's
watching the Eagles game.
Yeah, he's probably just watching the Eagles.
He's like, guys, my wife is sick. I don't think I'll be able to hop on. He's like, texts me, yeah, fuck yeah, Saquon. Wait, what? He's probably listening to us right now. And he's like, "You sons of bitches."
Yeah, we caught you.
I don't know what to say. Like what players to get. Like I don't know how bad is our like financial situation. Like
it's bad. Sal knows, right, Sal?
Yeah, I mean, it's not good, man. It really. And the thing is, like, we're not funding any of this without selling a player. So I have the only person that we can sell for any kind of plus Valenza is Fajoli,
who they're not even playing to give him some sort of value.
Exactly, and unless, like I said, unless they come up with all these loan formulations where they defer the payments out pretty much until next year, where they're hoping to have money for UCL qualification, which is far from a sure thing right now. The only good thing that's there's only a couple of things I think that can help us in that respect is that one, we can still get that fifth spot. Two, that Milan and Bologna keep sucking. It looks like Fiorentina finally came back to reality, and Lazio slowly coming that way. So it sounds like it's going to be mostly like top three sort of running away with it, and then the rest of us fighting for the scraps. But yeah. I mean, like I said, that the easy part of our month is already over. So we have. I have a feeling these three games are really gonna. I mean, Scudetto for me is already it's a lot.
Oh, well,
but
talking about that.
But yeah, it's tough, man. And like I said, we have to sell somebody. And Danilo, obviously, we're not getting anything for him. I heard reports $3 million or whatever. I don't know who the hell would give Juve $3 million for him when he's already out of project and he's already frozen out of the squad.
Now that pisses me off. You didn't need to say that out loud. You sometimes be like, well, if he's here to stay, and if there's a good offer, then we'll take it. That's that's the whole thing I will criticize again, Giuntoli. We have been constantly terminating contracts after terminating contracts. It's just we have to start making some successful sales, and that's another one.
Yeah, I mean, with our revenue streams, like we still don't have a sponsor. I wouldn't be surprised if we go all season without getting one. So that's, anywhere between 20 to 35 million right there that you could have done to reinforce the squad. And still far from knowing if we're going to advance in Champions League at all, going to the knockout stage. So
I think we're there, aren't we? We have 11 points. So it's like a 90.
We have not. Well, put it this way. From what I understand, we would right now, unless I think we win both games outright, we would be in the playoffs to get into the knockout rounds.
Okay.
So you still have to go through that. And I don't think I haven't read anything where you get revenue just for getting into that two-legged tie to get into the knockout stage. So there's another big revenue stream there. Obviously, I think we only got $1.5 million for the Super Copa.
Yes,
if even. So where you had a chance to make about 8 if you won the whole thing. So really, right now, the only one that we're pretty much still probably Coppa Italia, and I think even winning Coppa Italia only nets you around 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's only 5 or 6. It's not anything crazy.
That's what I mean. So I find it hard to see. Sorry, hold on one second, guys.
But I mean, it's kind of going off of his point, right? Like it's very difficult to see like us really making anything outside of like unless we somehow qualify for top 4 or go on a tear in the Champions League. But it's one of those things where it's difficult to, I don't want to say remain optimistic, but when you're looking at it from a financial and you're looking at it from the direction that the team's going or the way that you need to, because this summer you effectively mortgaged the future in a sense financially with what they're doing. Because like, for example, if this doesn't work or if this doesn't finish top 4, you will have to liquidate as many assets as possible. And I hate to say this, but you will suck for a couple of years just because what you're not able to bring in. And I think that's what's the issue. So like the reason for this season being crucial for top 4 and like, they've emphasized the importance of finishing for top 4 is because they've effectively mortgaged the future of the team to make this team decently competitive in a sense. So like, for example, if this team does not qualify for the Champions League next season, you're going to see, for example, Douglas Luiz is gone. You're going to see maybe potentially Thuram gone. You might see Koopmeyers get sold. Obviously you're going to see Dusan get sold. You're going to see a lot of movements or a lot of liquidating of assets just for them to compensate for the losses that they did. For example, I don't think Nico Gonzalez is going to stay because that loan's not going to get. They're not going to obligate the loan. So with that being the thing, it's where the concern is that they oversold on the future with the hopes of it being something or getting somewhere. And like, again, you look at the point total for this to be at the level of Del Nieri. And again, Del Nieri did it with a post-Kachapoli squad. It wasn't like he had a super smexy team like Mota did going into it. Yeah, like I understand, like, for example, you can argue and be like, well, we lost Bremer and that's what kind of is affecting us, with the team and everything. But again, that's why you're a coach. You have to, it's like the old Mike Tyson saying, right? Everybody has a plan until they get popped in the mouth. But the problem is now that they've got popped in the mouth, how do you pivot? How do you get into a different direction? How are you able to move it in a different direction? Because that always happens. Injuries happen. Stuff like this happen in the game. It's where like the elite coaches make their money and they're able to figure something out. They're able to adjust something. And if they don't, then I'm sorry, but you're not an elite level coach, in my opinion, if you can't do that. Jeff, any thoughts? Because I think not available.
One thing, that was one thing that it like terrified me about prior to the season again was the was the lack of depth we had, because like we made the buys with like the Douglas Luiz or Coop Miners by like getting rid of players. Like pretty much getting rid of players to get the players that we need or we wanted, and that kind of costed us the depth, like the depth chart of the squad. While we knew that we were going to compete with a lot of competitions coming from this year, whether that is the League, Super Cup, Coppa Italia, Champions League, and the Club World Cup. So we didn't really have a lot of players for rotation, for us to constantly rotate enough for for the competitions that we were competing. And I felt like this was happening while we're playing with a high intensity. Players are getting injured left and right. Now we're kind of like screwed with our pants down. And it's just, that was one thing I was really afraid of. And I remember in August saying like, oh, we didn't need Jadon Sancho. We didn't need this player. And I'm like, no, I think that was a bad idea. That's a bad take to have, because what if Nico Gonzalez got injured and then you put in Jadon Sancho in that situation, or any other player, say Bremer got injured and we decided to keep Rugani and kept him there, and then had Kalulu play in his natural position. Do I think, again, that Rugani is perfect? No, but he at least can play the center back and not have another player having to play in a non-natural position.
Or spending another 40 million or more or whatever to replace
and
him.
That's where I thought that one of the mistakes was. Again, and there was a lot of reckless decisions being made, and there's still being reckless decisions now with Danilo being out. It's another one of those things. I don't want to keep him, but at the same time, you have to ensure me that you're getting 2 center backs like you plan to get. Because you're telling me, oh wait, Andre Silva, oh, we got him. It's a deal. It's done, and we got him. And then turns out that we don't have him, and then it's like, oh, Araujo is going to be the next person. No, or Tomori, and that ended up being a failure as well, because Conceição wants to keep him. So it's kind of gone down to that, and now this is the time where Juntali needs to step it up and just think something out of the box and bring a player in that could make a difference that we have no idea. So even if it is bringing in Smiley, why not? I don't care.
I love it. I love that player, but I have no idea if we're going to make the move.
Again, at this point,
you have to.
What choices do you have? Do you have any choices? Do you have a plan? Because there's nothing else you can do. It's, if you don't have options, then you just have to, then that's the next plan. And that's, you got to make best with what we have and fight for the top 4.
Problem is we're not making best of what we have, right? That's kind of the issue, that we're in this predicament, is that we're not able to do that. Because for me, it's like, if I were to give you my honest opinion on this, where I kind of have like, where I throw my bias on this, it's, I don't want to get Mota another player. Like, I don't want Mota to have another player this year, because I don't even know if I want to keep this guy long term. Like, is that a bad take on my end?
It's not a bad take, but the thing is, I don't know necessarily the game plan for this, because like I only see 2 directions going on. If we give Mota the players that he wants, to me that would tell me that we're keeping him for long term, regardless whether we make it top 4 or not. And we stick it with him, we're going to have bad seasons. It's not going to be pretty. And then till the point where all the players that he's getting are finally getting on point with the plan that he has in mind, and then we start doing better, kind of like a Arteta move with Arsenal. Or you're just going to be pretty tough with them and say, listen, you got to win these 2 games or I'm going to kick you out and put a relief coach in, and then from there see where it goes, like an interim coach.
Deschamps available again after the World Cup.
Oh, that's toxic, and I love it.
Yeah, just saying. I mean, I don't know how you keep him if he doesn't make top 4. I really don't. I really don't. The thing is, it's going to be I wouldn't recommend dismissing them before the end of the season. And honestly, I think it's going to be a double. We'll be going in. This is my prediction is that we're going into the last week of the season still not knowing if we clinched UCL. That's sort of how I see it going.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to give him enough rope, I think, to at least get to that point.
Enough rope to hang himself.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but the problem is that's Giuntoli's guy, so it's like they're sort of a package deal. You can say what you want as far as like, I know we criticized Giuntoli a lot last year, a lot, and I thought deservedly so when we were right behind Inter, and we had a winter mercado coming up, and we were like, hey, one or two players, and we could really make a run for this, and we got Alcaraz, So, and for me, you could say, oh, you didn't have the money. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure you could have given him at least maybe like one player or so, because I don't think he was asking for much at that point. But he had that money allocated for his guy already. He already had in mind who he wanted to bring in, and that was, and we felt the repercussions of that last year with the free fall, that we were in. And then you brought in, like I said, the guys you wanted to bring in this year. Bad luck, what have you. The funny thing I thought when I saw it starting lineup yesterday was we all thought at the beginning of the season, like on paper, that's your midfield. Like Locatelli was a backup in our, a lot of our specs, right? So was Fagioli. But like we thought that our strongest starting midfield was Koopmeiners, Douglas Luiz, and Thuram, and they only just all started a game together yesterday. So it goes to show you how this season has gone, right? if you're thinking like, hey, what's the deal? So
yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm just saying like that's just a lot of things hadn't gone to plan now. But you know what? For a lot of teams, things don't go to plan, and it's up to the coach to adjust accordingly to put the team in the best position to perform well. And I think Mota has fallen woefully short of that mark.
I agree. I think we all agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, the thing is,
hold the phone. Did we answer this comment here?
So KB, I don't know. We didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So KB said Bonetti said you spend $200 million you need to produce. Marco, being Marco, refuted him by saying it's a 3-year project. Again, if you spent $200 million for 1 year in a 3-year project, if you spend another $200 million for the next 2 seasons, you've effectively spent $600 million on a squad.
It has to at least have a forward trajectory, and we've gone backwards. So without spending any money last year, with a coach that had dinosaur tactics that everyone, or at least half the community wanted out, why have we not been able to do better than the shit show that was? Not to mention all the behind the scenes bullshit over the previous couple seasons as well. Like, we're doing worse than the dumpster fire seasons. That's not okay, spending a couple $100 million.
I want to interject with this. If you're doing a 3-year project, it is an exponential growth when it comes to spending. Sal, am I not wrong here? When it comes to launching something like a project, you kind of you get like 1 or 2 foundational pieces a year, and you build it slowly until it exponentially grows off on its own.
You increase the profile of certain players that you can sell to also reinforce the mercado. I say the only youth play, like we had 2 youth players who've done fairly well, and Bangala's shown something, right? So you've increased his value there. So I'll give Mota his flowers because he's given him minutes because we've had an injury issue, and he's done well to his part. Savona has also shown glimpses of where he's done very well. Like, yeah, he's not that great with the ball at his feet. He's kind of got he's got rocks for feet, so his touch isn't that great. But in terms of his marking and he's pocketed some pretty good players in Serie A this season. We all thought he got way more minutes than any of us thought. So certain youngsters you're doing okay. Yildiz showing a lot, but we've known that from before. We think Yildiz would pretty much do well with any player. If anything, he probably could have shown more if Mota played him more centrally as opposed to on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but he's insistent on not doing that. So, So you have that. So you do have a couple of pieces there, but the problem is right now when you're trying to do this in a winter, you only have one, and he has not gotten the opportunity for whatever reason to get some real money in for him.
Gotta ask this question because it always seems to bother me. When you have a coach managing a team, and you get a guy like a Douglas Luiz, has they ever asked him like what would be like his best qualities, and what was his bet, like how he played at Aston Villa, and then try to get like an analysis on the player? Again, it was like, because I feel like none of these players, for example, like with Coop Miners as well, I feel like we got the Atalanta curse thing going on. And then with Luis, I think he was also confused. Like he didn't probably understand Malta's system. Can it always be in a sense that maybe if your players are not understanding it, or your system and the players you have don't necessarily work, don't you want to tweak it? Again, it's just that simple. Because when I'm watching Luis, I see a guy that is good with the ball, and he distributes the ball fairly well. Like I think he does fairly well with the distribution. I do think he needs to do a little bit better physically. Like he needs to be more physically fit. But as far as what he does with the ball, I like. And I think if you can put him in that like a regista role, like a 6 role, I think he would do fine. And then have like the other guys as the 8s. I think that would be a much better role, because like Coop is not playing the 10, and I don't think Luis will play it. I don't think Kefren Turam will play it. Like maybe Fagioli could do it, and I don't even think he could do it. I would think it's better Yildiz takes that role. I've been saying it for the longest that Yildiz is a better player centrally than he is on the wings. Regardless, he's good on the wings. I just think he shines better centrally.
We tend to do this to our players. Like look at Dybala, star player, never played a proper position. Like what is it with this team? It's just tossing these players around like this.
I just think it's weird, because when we see Yildiz do very well, sure, yeah, he's on the wing, but he always inverts to the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he's cut. He cuts in. I mean, he's just a better version of a Kesa, like who can actually do something. But that's what I mean. Like he likes to play centrally, whether he comes in or comes out or whatever. To me, the point is you have players out wide who can kind of like free up the middle of the park, where if you already have Yildiz there, he can be more effective. Mm-hmm. Definitely more effective than Coop Myers.
Question here. Yeah. Just a question from Wando. Has Ntoli Mata put timer on the project's finish date?
It's
no.
Because that's the fans that do that. The fans are the ones that put timelines on projects. Oh, it's a 3-year project. He signed a 3-year contract.
Yeah, I mean that's the correlation.
It's the fan base. It's honestly, it is the fan base. Like for example, if Giuntoli comes, like, do you not realize how bad Giuntoli would look if he says it's a 3-year project? I mean, like, bro, you spent $200 million. What the fuck you mean it's a? Oh shit! What do you mean it's a 3-year project?
Oh, now you're pulling back. What is this?
I fuck. Damn it! I did it again. Shit.
No, I mean it's pretty.
Like Ryan Reynolds, like, God damn it.
Yeah, no, you spending 200. If you're spending a $200 million season, at least I expect you to compete. It should have been Juve competing in the top 3. That's what I was expecting.
This is where I hold Marco a little bit to the fire with that comment. It's a 3-year project. Like, bro, you should be comfortably in top 4. Like top 4 should not be a question with the moves that you have done. Like, for example, 3-year project, maybe to be a perennial Scudetto contender, I can understand that argument, right? Like, for example,
Agreed.
It's a 3-year project to be a perennial contender, which means like the season starts, it's between you and someone else, and you're up there in the table 1 and 2, right? Like, I get that. That makes sense. However, if we're teetering between 5th, 6th, and 7th, and we spent that much money, and you're trying to tell me that it's a 3-year project, the only way I could buy that stock, no pun intended for sale here, but like the only way I could buy that is if, for example, you spent $20 million, if you bought Timmy Weah, if you bought alone on Conceição, and that was your Mercado. If that was your Mercado, I can understand 5th, 6th, and 7th. Because those are the only 2 players you brought in. And you're playing some of the next gen because you're hoping that some of the next gen, either do decently well so you can sell them for next season's transfer market, or again, they do well and you keep them long-term as foundational pieces. I would understand that project. I would understand that and say, okay, it's a 3-year project. That makes sense to me. There's logic in that. But when you sell the farm, whether, again, we should have kept Hoyson or not, that's, again, different argument. Whether or not you should have kept Sam Illing, Berenache, and all those guys. When you sell the farm to fund a blockbuster summer transfer window of really good players that had really good seasons, and then you're in 5th and 6th place, I can't buy that stock that you're telling me it's a 3-year project. It's a 3-year project for you to what? Finish top 4? Because that ain't no like with that. Like, I'm sorry, top 3 should be given, in my opinion.
I agree. 100%.
You should be in that top 3. You should be in it. There's no race for the top 3 because you're in it and you're comfortably in it.
Yeah, no, and the way that Mota's talking at his press conference, saying, "Oh, we dominated the game, we have possession," to me it's also bullshit. Because, like, yes, you can have possession, but if you're not creating chances, you're not creating one-on-one chances, and at least have a lot of shots on target and score, and to be able, I expect at least 2 to 3 goals a game with that style of play. If you're having possession, 2 to 3 goals, despite of how many goals we get scored on, at least I expect 2+ goals a game with what we have. That's the thing that pisses me off. Again, it goes down to, like, not knowing what our identity is. Like, what is our identity? Like, what are we? Are we a defensive team? Are we an attacking team? And if we're an attacking team, we better start acting like it. If we're a defensive team, we better start acting like it, regardless, because I don't think we shouldn't defend. We cannot defend for shit. So to me, it's like, for me, it's like, you just do attack. Hell, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'll have the fucking De Zerbi at this point. If we're gonna do this, I might as well just have that guy and just do that, and just go slot machine ball. That's it.
No, honestly though, fuck it, right? Because it's like, you look at it from that perspective. Like I'm sorry, like, at this point, F it. Throw De Zerbi in there. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because, like, go ahead, Sal.
It's the lack of any kind of consistency, right? That's sort of alarming, because we had a point in the beginning of the season where nobody was scoring on us, but then we also could not score. Everybody, we can't beat a low block. For how many weeks did we go with can't beat a low block? Then we go on a run where we're scoring 2 goals a game. I think we went 1 month where we went maybe 4 out of 6 games or wherever, where we scored 2 or more goals a game. But then guess what? We started conceding 2 goals a game. So it's like Jeff was saying, right? At some point we were ultra defensive, and then Mota had to, I guess, make some kind of adjustment where we started leaking goals or whatever. But at no point did we ever hit a run of form that would give us any sort of consistency, whether we can consistently score or whether we can consistently not concede. So to me, you can't find any balance in the squad that way. So we're all sitting here wondering, like, who is this team? And honestly, like, I don't think they know either. And again, if that's still the question that we're asking, halfway into the season, or a little bit more halfway into the season, that to me is a consequence of suboptimal coaching.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying it too. All the news reports, everything on Twitter, it's no identity.
For fuck's sakes, like, I mean, look, even Pep fucking changes his ways. And he's not going to play the same tiki-taka ball way he did with Barcelona. He changed a little bit in Bayern, and then he changed a bit in Man City. It's like, you have to change. You can't like have the same mentality. If something isn't working, you gotta improvise. That's the word I want to use, improvise, and have a bit of continuity as well with your midfield. Holy fuck, we were changing. We were going from, like, Loka, Kefren, Coop, then it was Fajoli, McKennie, Coop, and then we would switch it again. and that's not good either. We need some continuity where the main three guys they're playing in the mid are constantly playing, so they get used to playing with each other, understanding each other, to like knowing the habits of like how they play, and then knowing what type of runs and off ball movements you're gonna create. Like you got to do that. Like there needs to be some communication, some understanding between one another. If you can't have that, then yeah, you're going to have games where you'll see Juve pop off like for 10 minutes, score a goal, and then it's like, oh, I guess we're back to gear 1, gear 0, and then we get scored on. And then when we got 2 or 3 goals scored on us, then we have to really play. And that's another thing I noticed, where they're 2 to 3 goals down, then they really try like their life depends on it. I feel like they need to do that game and just stick with that. And then,
Question here from the chat. Do you guys think Giuntoli is already buying players for a different coach? Auriho, Rashford, Colomani aren't Monte-profile players. I don't think Rashford is. He's sort of there, maybe. I think there's sort of Mata players. No, what do you guys think?
No, my only concern is if he's just trying to. I just hope that's not the case. I hope he's not just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks. That's my concern.
Oh, that. Well, there's options, very few.
Well, okay. To put Kolo Muani, I know that Kolo Muani is a Malta player. I think Malta.
Dale's comment from what was it yesterday? Kolo Muani. That was so funny. I died laughing.
Kolo Muani, I know Malta coached him under the PSG academy, I think, so he knows Kolo Muani.
Yeah, he can play sort of that false 9, more of like what Xerxes was doing, but maybe better.
Yeah, so that's the thing is like when I was watching Bologna Malta back with Zirkzee, the thing is that he was playing with the false 9. I think because he had to improvise, because prior to the season he had Arnautovic. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, I think Arnautovic was playing for Bologna at that time.
I think so.
A few years ago. So he does play with a natural striker. I just think that Arnautovic is also probably has a better touch than Dusan, and that's where it goes down. We need a striker that can control the ball properly too, and Dusan can't do that. And on top of that, he's not willing to change, and he wants he has demands now, and that's another thing. And it's just like, bro, just go. Like if you're not willing to be a professional player, just get the fuck out, retire.
All right.
You got money now.
So this is an interesting comment that we'll talk about. So Giuntoli spent 200 million on what? Which previous value? If Madrid go and spend 20 million, they have added to a 300 million squad. Juve spent 200 million and added to a Cambiaso, McKennie, Loca, and Vlahovic squad. So here's the thing. They spent money on Nico Gonzalez, who had a career year at Fiorentina. They spent potentially 30 to 40 million on Conceição, who could be potentially a very good player. They bought Kefren Thuram, who is a promising young French midfielder. They bought Douglas Luiz, who had a double-digit goals and assists season at Aston Villa, and that Villa team qualified for the Champions League, mind you, in the Premier League. Mm-hmm. You got Koop Meyers, who had a sensational season at Atalanta that capped off with the Europa League win. You added to a Cambiaso, who is one of the better fullbacks right now in Europe that, Real Madrid wanted for 50 or 60 million and they didn't move them. You've added all of those pieces. And then for example, the issue, right? Remember what people were bitching about for the last 2 to 3 years? Oh, if Allegri gets fired, Dusan will be a beast. So you can add Dusan, who is an 85 million euro player, on there as well onto that docket. So you're adding to that. You've essentially dumped a crap ton of money onto that. And you're adding all of these pieces, and none of these pieces are working. So I understand you can throw cliches around too, but yeah, Real Madrid has a 300 million squad, but our squad is 100 and some change too. It's not like, for example, it's not like we added 100 million or 200 million to like a Venezia. Or a Monza. Like we didn't do that. That's not it. That's not the case at all. Because go into the season, we had one of the more expensive squads, and we added that much more to it.
We did actually drop. We had become more financially sustainable, but at the same time, we were still spending. It's interesting. It's mostly contracts that we saved on, those owners' contracts that we still have one of.
I think though with Real Madrid, the thing with Real Madrid is Real Madrid brings a winning culture. Winning is everything to them.
Well, we used to.
And we used to have that.
Not today.
We don't have profiles that have winning is perfect. You know, like winning is everything. We don't have a figure. I think like what Milan did when they got Ibra during the Pioli era was like genius. That was a really good move. And then had Milan win the league the season after. Like we need an Ibra, like we need a leader per se, like a veteran, like a proper veteran that doesn't necessarily what I would like to say, doesn't necessarily impact on the field, but mostly off the field. Can do on the field stuff, of course, but mainly off the field, and keep the players accountable and teach them the ideas of winning and how to get back when you're on a losing streak or a tying streak in this matter.
Right. But I think the situation that Juve is, or the corner that Juve is kind of like painting themselves into, is you made a conscious decision to lower the overall age of the squad, phase out the old players, right? So you're basically kind of on the pitch, you're sort of rebuilding the culture. And if you don't have the player profile to be able to instill those values, right, that has to come from somewhere else, right? But we don't have a Nedved at president anymore.
Mm-mm.
We don't have an Agnelli there, you know, from an ownership perspective. You know, John Elkann is a much more hands-off guy from that. You know, you don't have a Moji, or even to another extent a Marotta. So that has to come either from the coach, it has to come from the general, like the GM, basically, right? So if you're not getting it from Giuntoli and you're not getting it from Motta, obviously you're going to see what we're seeing right now. And again, broken record, if you're not getting the player profiles to do it, then it has to get drilled down through coaching.
Yeah.
And we're not there yet.
And you bring a beautiful point, right? Because, like, for example, if you look at the front office, Motta's never won anything as a coach. Yes, he's won stuff as a player, but again, winning as a player doesn't, just because you're winning or you've had a successful playing career, doesn't equate to great coaching. Like it doesn't instill confidence, right? Like, for example, i.e. Andrea Pirlo, perfect example. Who else? De Rossi, Vieira, like all these other coaches and stuff. So it's like it's a commonality, right? Like, for example, Cesc Fabregas, he's still getting his feet wet. So when you don't have that from the management perspective, like as your coach, and then you don't have that from a sporting director, because all due respect to Giuntoli, he's only won a single Scudetto, I believe, in his sporting directing career. I think that's it. There's no Coppa Italia. I think there's one Coppa Italia. There's one Coppa Italia. I stand corrected. But there's 2 trophies in his entire dossier. Look at Beppe Marotta at Inter. A lot more.
Do you consider last year's Copa his, because he kind of inherited? No, we won the Copa last year.
That's why you shoot him away from the celebrations.
That's why Max shoot him away.
Yeah, I don't know the answer, to tell you the truth. It's this is the time where it's like you got to start brainstorming now. Everything is brainstorm. Think of a plan, think of who to bring, get your heads out of your asses, and continuously just play and improve. I just want improvements. That's it. Like minor improvements every game. Play with some guts. Play with emotion. Play like you got stuff you're about to lose. Like, you know, you have everything on the line, and they're not doing that. I don't know what it is. Like, what is this Juve? Like, we have good players, but the problem is, again, that figure, that catalyst, or that little spark that we need. We don't have it at the moment. We need a jump starter. Like, in a psychological perspective, we have the guys to do it. They're capable players, but they need somebody to direct them. Because Koop Meiners may have had a good season, but he hasn't played at the world-class stage. He hasn't played for a big club. He's played for a club that was that didn't have there wasn't no only top 4 to make it only top 4 and not win the league. That there was no expectation. Same thing with Douglas Luiz. Same thing with Dusan. Dusan was playing for Fiorentina for 6 months. Like we haven't had a player with enough experience that has made it to the highest of the highest level. And I think we need a guy with a lot of experience to direct these guys.
Well, this just came in as you were talking there, Jeff. Inigo Martinez will be out for 5 weeks due to an injury. This puts in doubt the transfer of Ronald Araujo, who is considered now essential to the Barcelona defense.
Yeah, he told us right before he hopped in.
I knew that. Yeah, no, I'm not too surprised by that. That is
okay. It just popped up now. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's another one. Just another one gone.
Yeah, no, it's just time. I think it's just time to improvise again. Look for another player, whoever it is. If it's going to be Kivior in Arsenal, so be it. That's also another thing. So it's going to depend. It sucks. It is what it is. But at this point, we're just going to have to find a defender just for a piece, just to exist.
Well,
not because
it wouldn't surprise me if we're only able to bring in either just a fullback or a second choice center back or whatever. It wouldn't surprise me that if we can at least keep Luis healthy and we don't sell Fajoli, that Loca is probably going to get more looks at center back, and then we'll just have to keep those 3 and rotate in Fajoli more often. And that's probably how we're going to have to roll. I don't see how else we'd be able to sustain that many games for another 4 months or whatever without having to move Loca back into like the center back role. I just don't see how we're going to do it.
I think the only reason the team doesn't have a proper top 4 season is because Mota doesn't do what Conte did at the beginning of his tenure. Analyze the players properly and play to their strengths. No, he's playing to what he envisions. It's not too different from Pirlo, where he's got this vision and it just doesn't work because reality, things change.
Maybe if he was in the EPL, that's a different story. That's a different story in the EPL, but when you have all the funds, you can buy the players you want for the most part. But in Italy, you have to be creative. You have to find ways. You have to be pragmatic. That's it. You got to look at the players you have, the cards you're dealt, and just play to your strengths. That's really the true meaning of pragmatism. It's looking at everybody, knowing what they can and cannot do, and piecing in the puzzles.
It's being calculated.
It works.
Yeah, you just do everything in the calculated manner. It's you look at the cards you have dealt and you play them.
You can't. Now it would be nice if we had influx money, then we can spend as much as we want, and then throw players here and there, and then say, oh yeah, if this doesn't work, we still have a lot more money for TV rights. But that's not the world we live in at the moment. So you have to be making intelligent moves one step at a time, and just take different approaches. Allegri, I remember, was it the 2022-2023 season where we were losing. We were losing a lot of matches. We were losing to Monza, and then we decided to go in the back 3. Bremer couldn't play the back 4. So it was like, okay, we'll do the back 3. And then we were on a couple games winning streak. We were winning many games. We were in the top 4. And then obviously the deduction, the minus 15 points also affected us. But the point is the improvisation, to be able to improvise and adapt to your current surrounding and just know what type of players you have and play them to the absolute best strengths. Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know, man. I think we keep on saying the same things. And you know what? I'll just mention this. I have this on my notes. I found it kind of funny because Romeo Gresti is coming out. And we've all been saying this. All 4 of us, the whole world has been saying this for better part of a year now. But this is what he said. The Dusan Vlahovic situation is starting to feel a bit similar to the one of Federico Chiesa.
God damn it.
Oh my. Somebody even said in the chat today.
Matt says it. He said it. Fuck, Berto said it too. I think was it Alberto?
Everyone said it.
JC
I've been saying this for years.
He said it. I kind of had the feeling. I had a good feeling for that. Yeah, well, that's not a shocking take. Like, I'm not.
I know.
Wow.
It just, when I saw that, I'm like, really? This is news?
It's like I predicted it. Yildiz playing in the center. It was like, or that Luis was going to struggle in the beginning. Like, there wasn't too surprised. I don't know. Just it felt right. I don't know. Like, it wasn't. I always come up and say wild takes. If I'm wrong, I admit it. But for fuck's sakes, it's just I don't know. It doesn't take a genius. I don't know what else to say.
You know, it's funny. I'm not. This isn't me taking pot shots at him at all. It's just like I feel like at this point, all of his journalism or all of his calls are like, for example, say that someone legitimately dies, like he sees the body like 2 weeks later at the visitation. He's like, "Oh, hey," he tweets it. By the way, so and so passed away, and it's like everyone's like, "Yeah, we know, we know it happened 2 weeks ago." Like it's just after the fact, and it's just freaking hilarious that like every single time he does something like it's like
it was like that last news thing that I said that you're like, yeah. We know. Same.
The question is, what are we going to do? Like, what are they going to do? So that's always interesting to see.
God damn it!
Really, the problem is if we want to get value, we need to get rid of him now, but we can't. So I don't know how much we're going to end up getting for him with a year left on his contract. It can't be a whole buttload, I imagine, like
25, 30 million at most.
Sheshko,
we take a loss. We take a loss to the books for that. It's gonna have to be at least around 40.
Yeah. Again, and you're right. Again, you're not wrong there. The thing is in business is leverage. The moment like that year on his contract left, other clubs have leverage over you. So it's like, oh, well, he only has a year left, so I'll just wait it out until the end of the season. I'll get him for free. And that's what you're stuck with.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's not going to look good, but we all knew that.
Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure.
What do you think of Rafa Benitez as our coach? I'm stuck with him on my head. Pragmatism, dynamic, simple thing, but basic, demanding football.
I'd rather than Rafa.
You cut out there. Sorry, what did you say?
I said I'd rather have Deschamps than Rafa.
Oh, Deschamps, yeah.
Easy.
I think so.
Yeah, I would do that, but no, I will not have Rafa. I think he's a
I take Ranieri over Rafa. He's actually done pretty decent with freaking Roma ever since he's gotten there.
Yeah, so well, I mean, 2-2 today, but better than they're better.
He got him out of relegation zone. That's what he does.
Yeah, Rafa Benitez in particular, not really sold on him, but I mean, those philosophies, pragmatism, dynamic, simple things, but basic, demanding football, yeah.
I think we kind of had that guy last year.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted him.
I have an unpopular opinion.
What's that?
Jose Mourinho. I don't
like him. I like him, but I don't know if
I used to hate him years ago, but now I think I would take him. Jose Mourinho.
It can't be worse than what we're getting, honestly.
I think they need a guy like him.
Is Tudor would be the kind of guy that I put in it to not spend a lot of money on. I think he's the kind of guy that if you are going to go like just a bunch of bricklayers, you get a Tudor. But not with their squad. I don't know. Too many prima donnas. Don't think it would quite work. You need a man manager. You need a type of maybe with more modern tactics. You need I'll just laugh.
I don't think it's just tactics. I think it's also tactics, but also charisma.
Yes.
To keep your players in line.
So Mourinho, maybe. I think Mourinho might be.
I think Vincenzo did say about Klopp. I saw the question, so my answer would that be that would be a huge risk. You would have to put a lot of money into Klopp. I think he would demand a high salary. I don't know how a German coach would do in Italy. It piques my curiosity. But I do think that Klopp is the type of guy that can build culture. He's a culture builder. I'm curious about it, but I don't think with the money that we spend, I don't know if he's going to demand a lower wage. That's my only thing on Klopp.
Yeah, that's fair. He certainly wouldn't come cheap.
But we need a culture builder. I think that's the best word I think this team needs. This squad necessarily needs a culture change, a culture builder, not new tactics, nothing, no Renaissance football, just culture. That's just a culture. But yeah,
you guys don't laugh. De Rossi. I don't know. I think he's very Roman. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Vincenzo Italiano, I think could. I
would rather take him. I think he's more attack minded, to tell you the truth. I would take him at that point over Malta. Like, at least he has some identity. Like, he has a way of playing. I'm not saying I have to agree with it, but
you don't have to. It's not a matter of having to. It's just whatever. It's like, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, it's get a plan and stick with it. Even saying De Zerbi, like, I don't fucking like his way of playing at all, but at least he has a way of just attack, and that's it. Just go for a full-scale attack. I can't stress that enough. I don't know what we're doing, Malta. Like, I'm question marks all over my head.
See, Danny's saying Mourinho though, but I think just with where the mindset with this team is, they need a guy like I would say a Conte, but Mourinho was probably the next best thing in terms of having a guy get in here and just light a fire under the guy's ass. That's it. You just need to get them moving. And these are the kind of personalities that at least get the guys moving and running and just playing football again.
To at least get them in a winning mentality. That's really what I need. I need a coach that can get guys into a winning mentality. I vouched for Conte in 2023, 2024. But yeah, people thought I was like, nah, he causes problems. He's not corporate. Well, what has corporate done? That's great, politically correct ball is going to take us. So no, yeah, I wouldn't care too much. I want an asshole taking charge.
Mm-hmm. That's what we need right now. Just an asshole. Not an asshole like that guy earlier, but like an asshole that just like.
And that guy all that guy cares is like he's trying to get under your skin, and if you're getting pissed off, then he's going to continuously do it. That's all. Yeah. That's the thing. Okay, I will say what I notice in streaming. When you're doing online streaming as a gig, there is always that guy. Like in everything you do, it doesn't matter whether you're doing sports, politics, or whatever other topics, video games. You're always going to have that guy that is online, terminally online, brain broken, and just constantly like just trying to troll and get under your skin because
that's all it was. Well, because as soon as I started ignoring him, that's when he finally shut up and unsubscribed, which I'm happy for. Like I just don't need. And it's one thing to talk shit, and I mean, like Dal, early on, we thought he was just out to get us, and
Nah, he was
trolling. Have a conversation.
You could tell Dal was trolling the whole time, though.
Yeah, but at first it was like, oh fuck, why is this guy trolling? Then but we start talking, and it's like, okay, and that's it. You just have a conversation, and that's fine. Like we encourage that around here. It's all about the banter, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like if you're just gonna just straight out attack people, because I mean everyone remembers Colin that's been around here for a while.
Yep.
He just and this is I'm making a parallel to Colin in this case, and I don't care. I'll use names because I don't need this shit around here. Nobody needs this shit around here. Like, yeah, we drop F-bombs. We talk, off the cuff, some spicy shit. But at the end of the day, you don't need to be attacking who people are. If I mispronounce something, say, hey, you mispronounced, say.
I don't give two shits.
But yeah, it's just like
wait.
It's just like move on. But that's not that. And I'm not gonna bring it up what he said, but he started making racial shit afterwards as well. So
yeah.
And that's the thing, right? These people
like zonal. You're like zonal stuff.
Yeah, but it's just like no, you don't need to be that way. We're not gonna stand for any of that shit here.
Yeah, no.
Not cool. So
yeah.
I'm happy he's gone. We don't have to deal with him again. And and Nerd, I noticed you were sticking up for me as well. There, you're fucking off a little bit. So and just from the chat, and that's the best thing. Self-police, the chat. You guys have always been great as well. When somebody has been, just fucking around. You guys.
Jump on it. Yeah, for sure.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, dude.
Other than that, guys, I think that's it. We've gone almost 2 hours here.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, Sal just left us. He must have had to leave. Thank you, Sal, for joining in. And there are new people. Only one bad new people, but the rest of you have been great. MP, I don't even know how to say this name, but
just call him User.
User, yeah. You've been active today as well. Thank you for joining in, as well as all the regulars. You know who you are. I'm not gonna list them all off. Everyone that's here, essentially. Thank you so much for joining in. Dash or Jeff, you're the guest. You got anything else to add in?
Just good luck, and let's see where this shit show goes. This roller coaster goes.
I'm here Tuesday.
Enjoy it. Popcorn this shit. So,
yeah.
Juve's playing on Tuesday.
Yep. And I'll be here. So. Is it Atalanta this?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Atalanta 2:45, so that's going to be an 8:45 European time. Yeah, it's just a Tuesday.
Oh, that's gonna be pretty insane. I'll probably be at work watching the game and then commenting on halftime and full time. So I'll probably be commenting, but yeah. I'll probably be getting pissed off, but we'll see. We'll see how the game goes.
Hopefully it's a good one. But Atalanta's going to be tough. And we didn't even touch in on any of that. But it's the Collins show. We got to get the things off our chest.
Right.
And I feel like we did. I did a bit of yelling, so I got a little extra.
Right.
All right. On that note, then Dash.
Oh, I finally get to do this actually in studio. I'm finally doing it in studio. All right, everybody. So,
you're completely cut out.
Am I really cut out?
Now you're okay. Yeah, that whole time I'm waiting for it to come, and he's just I turned the music off, and he just kept on talking.
Dude, I was talking the whole time.
I know. We saw the lips moving.
Shit, let me fix my gain. Okay, how about now? Can you guys hear me?
You're good. All right, roll it.
Oh, baby. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're back. Well, technically I am in a studio. But on that note, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys. You're not playing the music. Come on.
So I don't want to cut you out again. All right, here you go.
God damn it. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Now with the music, and we shall see you guys Tuesday, and then I will probably be traveling that day, so I will lollygag with you guys hopefully Thursday evening, or I might phone in from the hotel room again.
Ooh, Hotel Dash.
Hotel Dash.
Hotel Dash with the leather headboard.